It's a question that civilized societies have grappled with from the dawn of time, an ancient mystery that has stumped the wisest of old philosophers and continues to boggle the minds of the most academically gifted scholars to this very day. Today, we are here to answer this age-old question once and for all. If a gamer plays a video game and nobody watches them, did it really even happen?
Wait, which ancient and wise philosopher are you going on about?
Okay, fine. It's not Socrates or Plato. It might be Plato. I don't know. It's unlikely that an actual philosopher ever conducted a lengthy discourse on the act of gamers streaming their games online or the implications of that on society. Also, I am just kind of blatantly ripping off the whole if a tree falls in the woods philosophical debate for my premise, just in case that wasn't abundantly clear. Also, it's in the public domain, so I'm allowed to do that without getting sued. But an interesting aspect of the social media generation has emerged that impacts the way we game, and it definitely warrants a closer inspection. While the gaming realm has lacked any consistent method of supporting socialization after the decline of video game arcades, we have streaming services now, like Twitch as an example, that have permanently altered the gaming landscape and added an additional layer of challenge to the games that we play. Beating the game, defeating the villainous characters contained inside of it, that only represents a portion of the battle gamers are choosing to fight. The larger mission now is to gain enough clicks and views and likes and subscribes and followers to hopefully go viral and gain the credibility that comes along with it.
The desire to achieve viral success is not limited to the realm of gaming, and it is not simply an invention of social media either. In many ways, as a society, we tend to measure both quality and success by pointing to quantifiable measurements that indicate a viral level of popularity.
Sure. And for many gamers, the ability to achieve a large following, build a healthy subscriber base, to watch their virtual exploits is about more than simply fame and recognition. Mm-hmm. The ability to potentially turn this hobby into a monetizable income has set many gamers off in pursuit of the rewards that only come from seeing those numbers rise. Mm-hmm. But along the way, a concerning trend is emerging from this obsession with going viral. The tendency to believe that the number of clicks or likes that we receive not only validates the value of what we've created, but that the lack of engagement that we might see from some of our creations somehow invalidates or devalues them.
I have a feeling that most of us who possess any form of social media have done it. We have posted a picture, a thought, a video, or post somewhere into one of our accounts and then make the mistake of watching it to see if it gains, traction. Perhaps it's a poem we wrote, a drawing we sketched, or a song that we recorded. We uploaded it with excitement, and then we sit and wait in the hopes that others appreciate what we have shared. Hopefully, a lot of people, right?
But nothing happens.
And then nothing happens.
Maybe a couple of family members give us a old thumbs up, some random person throws up a heart, and it turns out that it's just a bot account. It's like a pot of water that stubbornly refuses to boil while we're staring at it. This item that we poured so much labor and passion into just sits there waiting to be received and loved and appreciated. Maybe it gains a handful of likes, so we decide to head off to bed. Maybe it'll catch on overnight. But the next morning, our post is still as flat as a 2-liter bottle of Dr. Pepper that was left open all night long. And rather than celebrating the handful of souls that were genuinely appreciative and touched by our creation, we stare dejectedly at that single-digit number on our interaction counter and wonder where we went wrong.
I do that all the time, actually.
If you've ever been there, obviously we have. Perhaps you're there right now. This video probably is. We have some encouragement for you.
As followers of Christ, the desire for our efforts to reach others in both quality and quantity typically comes from the right place. When the Lord gives us a message to share or places a burden on our heart for souls, it can be easy to measure our impact in terms of the number of reactions and responses we receive, rather than finding peace in simply obeying the call.
But the reality is that the Lord who left the 99 in order to save the one doesn't view our impact through a lens of quantifiable metrics or viewership data. As a matter of fact, he routinely walked a lonely path for the singular purpose of reaching just one hurting soul. And in the Lord's economy, even if our faithful obedience to the Lord only reaches one soul, the heavenly celebration that unlocks is beyond our comprehension.
One of the best examples of this level of commitment is found in the mission to reach one soul that the evangelist Philip was given in the book of Acts. He was given a general idea of which direction to walk, straight into the desert, without any additional context added to this itinerary.
So how far did Philip have to walk without additional guidance? Well, we don't know the exact amount. But we do know that the road that he was sent down was 50 miles long. Now, I don't know about you, but the difference between walking 1 mile with the Lord with a clear idea of where I'm going, or potentially 50 miles without any clue where I'm going, that's kind of a big difference. During his lonely pilgrimage of indeterminate length towards an unknown destination, he didn't know what he was going to do, Philip experiences a divine interruption as his path finally intersects with one lonely soul in search of answers that Philip was in the perfect position to provide. The Lord sent Philip deep into the desert for the sole purpose of bringing enlightenment to one soul. And upon the completion of that journey, Philip literally disappeared from the area, and this Ethiopian official disappeared from the story.
While there are certainly occurrences in which the Lord's message was proclaimed and received by large amounts of individuals at the same time, the message here is clear. The Lord doesn't just leave the 99 to seek and save the one. He expects those who follow him to go out of our way to do the same.
So, let's answer the question that we asked at the very beginning of this video. Does the size of our viewership justify our activity? Is what we do on Twitch or any other platform greater or lesser value simply because of the quantity of subscribers we possess? Was our mission any less successful in our game simply because only a few people watched us to complete it? I mean, the reality is I successfully defeated Ganon, and I saved Hyrule, regardless of the size of my audience. If one person watched me do it, or 1,000.
And the question we must ask ourselves in every endeavor we take on for the Lord is simple. Are we willing to go out of our way to do what the Lord has placed on our heart regardless of the reception we receive?
Do we ascribe the same value to a single soul that our Father does? Not only in our words, but in our actions. Can we find peace in our service, even if we never achieve the level of following or viewership that this world equates with success? Are we seeking viral victories to validate our vision, or are we still willing to sing that song, share that poem, send that video, or write those words, even if it only reaches an audience of one?
As Christ and Philip both demonstrated, success is not measured in the number of viewers or followers that we achieve, but in our obedience to the calling of the Lord, regardless of how small or large our specific mission field is. For Jesus, one soul was worth coming for. One soul was worth going out of his way to seek out. One soul was worth dying for.
The size of our audience does not define the quality of our service, or even reflect on the level of our obedience. As his followers, we're held to one simple standard. We carry the signal wherever he chooses to send us, and to whoever he puts us on a collision course with. In a world that's obsessed with validating value by measuring quantity rather than substance, we are not on a mission to go viral. We are simply called to be a vessel.
It is the Lord who gives the increase to our efforts, whether we are the ones planting, watering, or reaping the harvest. So if you have a song that the Lord has placed in your heart, sing it. If you've been blessed with a written or spoken word, share it. If you have a video that you have labored on creating, stream it. No matter how seemingly small your appreciative audience is.
If our only audience is the Lord himself, let's lift up the light he has given us with the joy and confidence of a toddler placing their homemade macaroni art on the refrigerator door. We are not measured by our following, but by who we are following. If we only reach one, that one beautifully immeasurable soul that we touch still sets off that same heavenly celebration.
Let's be an encouragement, even if we only see the impact on one person today. Let's share his light and love, even if it seems our level of effort doesn't quite seem to equate with the level of response we receive.
If Philip was sent to walk up to 50 miles out of his way through the desert, just to reach one soul.
I bet you he didn't even know it was 50 miles back then. He's probably like, this is taking forever.
No, he didn't have all those signs.
No.
Or road construction.
No.
If he did all of that, then I suppose that we can push through recordings and click upload from the comfort of our dining room today, even if the only person who ever hears these words is you.